Don't get it twisted. I'm not Tiger Woods, neither am I the next Tiger Woods in the making. But I'm here, in this very place where you can find many men come through and do what they have to do to relax and also talk business. The golf course. And in the next couple of minutes,
but is that where you can get the best shot?
And be talking to you.
Yeah, you can stay there. I'll fly over your head. Trust me.
He's taking a very bold decision to be in the highest office of the land, and we're here to actually have a chit chat with him. He's an economist and also an investment banker. Today, I'm here to meet the man who wants to be the president of this republic. He's an independent candidate, and his name is Dr. Sam Ankrah.
You know the guy even said
he may probably take me through a few golf, training, or better still, try as much as possible to convince me to vote for him. But on the other side, we also get to have chit-chat about business and some other things that would interest you right here at the golf course. All right, so come with me. I came prepared, as you can see. I've got my club, I've got my gloves, and I've got my fully, recognized outfit for playing golf. Doc, good to see you.
KMG, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm very well. How's it going?
Great. Good to see you today.
Are you surprised I came prepared? Eh?
You come very, very well prepared. I'm surprised.
Basically, I'm here for a lot of things, but I would want to also get to know what it is like to play golf. How long you've been playing?
I've been playing for a while. I think for the last 10 years.
10?
Yeah, and that is a team we have today. And we are glad to have you joining us this afternoon.
It's a pleasure coming here. I had to invade this place and ask you questions, especially when you want to be a president that will definitely make decisions for me.
Excellent. God, it's about time we do something different. If we're looking for different results as people, we can't just keep doing the same old stuff. Over the last 30 years, we've been doing the same thing, this rotation, and our economic circumstances situation gets worsening. I mean, look at these young men around and all the others, millions out there, no employment, harsh economic conditions, basically inflation at its best, corruption rampant, same old stories. Just about 4 or 3 days after elections, we go back to the same cycle.
Ever since you made your decision that you want to be presidential candidate, you made that announcement. How has life been for you?
Well, it's not easy, as you know. There's a perception around getting into politics, unfortunately, which raises a lot of questions when people put their heads there or lift their hands up to contest. So there have been a lot of questions. Why do you want to do so? You have a very comfortable life. Because the notion is everybody gets into politics to make money.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be the case. Politics, or getting into politics, is service. But I want to tell our Ghanaian fellas that, look, a time has come that right people have to get into politics. Selfless leaders who have no ulterior motive, plain intention of coming to help our people.
Awesome. Let me take a shot. Come back. Here we have our conversation.
So have you locked your hand?
I'm going to lock it.
Yes.
This way, and then that way.
Very firm grip.
Okay.
Go closer a bit.
This way.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. Bend down a bit and then all the way out. Watch the ball. Your eyes have to be on the ball because
Tiger Woods must be proud.
And then you hit the ball.
Whoop! Okay. There you go. I'm not sure I'm going to make a good businessman, really.
No, of course, I mean.
What makes a good businessman, a good economist? I mean, we have one of the finest. He was touted as one of the finest economists in this country. In fact, they said everything when former President Mahama was in power.
Yeah.
Now we have the economists. They are the man. But we're not seeing it reflects in the lives of the people. Who makes a good economist?
Let me give you this way, answering you on the first note. It's like a patient going to see a doctor and with an illness, and the doctor not being able to help, and they have to go and see another doctor, and once they go and see the other doctor, the issues get resolved. You can have a skill, but if you are not particular about it, if you are not an expert, or if you don't practice what you're preaching, you'll be seen as a quack doctor or a doctor who hasn't got a clue of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Similarly, you can be an economist, but if you are not practicing what you preach, people will look up to you and say, hey, this guy is not what he claims he is. So it's all about making sure that whatever field endeavor that you claim you have an expertise in it or expertise in, you should be able to do exactly as it is. And to be honest with you, the economist you are referring to, most of the things he said, or all the things he said during President Mohammed's administration was absolutely spot on. As to why he got into the seat and doing the same thing, those are the things that we have to discuss.
Which has
later.
always been a major issue when it comes to, people getting into power in politics. You've mentioned that people are even speculating that you are also in there to pick some monies and all of that.
That's right.
Why is it difficult for people to say the things they say, and then when they get into office, it becomes another problem? Why would people want to take from the government? Why would they want to take from the people?
Very, very important question, and this is exactly what I've been preaching about. My brother, the systems and structures we have in place now, regardless of who we employ to run the country, if they don't have the selflessness to change it, they will sit in there. Even Angel Gabriel would run in the country, and after 4 years, you tell us that they've come and chopped their money and they haven't done anything. The systems and structures we have has become dysfunctional. They are not working anymore. The world around has developed. They've moved on. So we need to break the system. Too much power given to one president, and that is leading corruption everywhere. He's appointing everybody. He's basically in reign like a king. But politics should have checks and balances, where people are overseeing everybody's work, where you know that if I make this decision, somebody else is going to take over and look at it. So I have to make sure that I present the best and the right thing to do. Unfortunately, if one person has the whole power, and he's appointing everybody, there's compromises everywhere. And this is why we are where we are. Number one thing is to be able to cut corruption. Number two, again, you bring so many people on the political trail to help you. People donate money towards your campaign. People are in the bushes campaigning. So they win. They have to satisfy everybody. And that is why we have over bloated government payroll. UK as a country, over 65 million, with a GDP in trillions almost, don't have more than 300,000 people in their payroll. Ghana, as small as we are, with only 79 billion GDP, we have over 1 million people, and we are still piling in on a daily basis. So these are critical things. Government size needs to cut. Again, the excesses. What are our priorities? We want to buy luxurious private jets or luxurious private jets, Land Cruisers everywhere, absorbing fuel every day for what?
Because people contributed into making you the president you are. In your scenario, you're going to have people around you, like the many you have mentioned. If some qualify, they definitely want to be in that spot with you. You need to make sure you're giving them jobs. Won't that contribute to you also going through the same processes they have gone through already?
We have a manifesto. It's a contract to Ghanaians. And we are saying we're cutting government size by 50%. We are bringing only 20 ministers, not 120, not 80, not 60, 20 ministers with no deputies to come and run this country, because we know if we don't cut, it's a basic concept in economics. You can't spend what you don't have. If we can't cut costs, where are we going to do the savings? And if you look at cutting our budget on the payroll alone, 50%. Do you know how much money we're going to save on a year-by-year basis, and the developmental project that can go in our healthcare, which is now in disarray? You go to hospitals, there are not even lifts, there are not even medical facilities, dialysis are overcharged, and all of those. Look, these are critical areas that we need to look at. Look at our education. We talk about free education, but we have low-quality education. There's no infrastructure. There's not even washrooms in some of the schools that you visit. So these are critical areas: healthcare, education, infrastructure. No roads. Look at your way coming to a very posh and splash area like this. You have to go through muddy. All these things are because we are spending money on unnecessary areas where we could have structured in such a way that these money that we save will come towards the development of the nation. Let's stop paying ourselves.
You spoke about one issue in your earlier statement, which is more or less like a pandemic, the issue of corruption. Corruption, they will tell you, the politicians will tell you, it's been with us since Adam. And so every single person that wants to have such an opportunity, we are thinking, is this not the same Adam generation that is coming into the office of the presidency when corruption is mentioned?
As much as I love President Kufuor, I disagree with him. That was a wrong statement. If we're not ready to fight corruption, we're not ready to lead the country. It's a canker which is eating into our society. Corruption has impeded development, upward mobility of our poor people. It has exacerbated income inequality. The reason why we cannot afford Ghana is because people have so much money in their hands they didn't work for. Free money. So the thing is 100 cedis, they can pay 1,000 cedis, they don't care. So they outprice everybody. Look at properties. All these splash houses built up in Ankrah are empty. They are charging in dollars. But the corrupt people can afford and pay. The corrupt people can build these houses. But what about the poor people? So corruption seriously is causing a lot of problems in our economy. Let's be serious as a country. Corruption is serious and is endemic and is causing problems. Let's hit it right there on its head, like Galamsey. How can we say as a country we can't solve the problem of Galamsey? Are we saying that when somebody enters into the country and attacks us, we can't defend ourselves? Come on, let's be serious. Same people who are supposed to be the policemen are the same people who are the thieves. So no arrest. And if there's no consequences to our sins, people will not stop sinning. People are not arrested. I mean, NDC comes over, they make noise, they take over the government. No MPP man is found culpable in the corruption that we were talking about. MPP also take over the same thing. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. So once there's no consequences to our sins, people are not stopping.
Doc, how do you arrest a very close family friend of yours who you've put into position to work for the country and has embezzled a lot of money? This is somebody very close. It could be a blood cousin, whatever it is.
That's a very important question you asked. If we're professionals in our approach, that should not be a problem, because whoever is taking that responsibility or working for the state should understand that, look, these are the consequences of what you are going to do. So if you do anything, I'll tell you as a family member, hey, you are my brother. This job I'm giving you is going to pay you X amount. The consequences of being corrupt or stealing money is this. If it gets to the point where you steal money and you are found culpable, as much as I love you as a brother, I can't help you.
Not even in the intervention of the family members?
Absolutely.
Someone you respect?
Absolutely. So that is why, first of all, there's a need to prevent that from happening. The preventive measures is as crucial as after the crime has been committed. What measures do you have in place that stops it? Our procurement processes are corrupt. People have to know people to get things done in Ghana. There's nothing done on meritocracy, even employment. Right candidates comes in, they look at you, oh, this guy has an MPP affiliation or NDC affiliation, or this guy has a brother related to this and so forth. So we are not getting the right skills in government. The essence of all that we are doing is to build a nation for all. A nation that everybody has to benefit, not just a few, a cabal that wins elections and their friends and family benefits.
As you can see, we've done about how many distance of walking. After the first swing, we've not actually done any hits anymore. Dog, why so? I'm beginning to get tired of golf.
Okay, so the nature of the game is you win depending on how many shots you have in between the holes.
Okay.
So the first ball I hit is way all the way over there.
Yeah.
So until we get there,
we're not hitting any
ball.
Oh, that's where the business conversations happen.
Exactly. So in between, we're having discussions and we are transacting.
Oh, I see.
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe in that case, we can do more of talking, right? And I'm basically here to find out what exactly Doc seeks to achieve with his decision to be a president. I mean, the benefit that will come to you and I. And so this conversation is very important to me. Doc, we've spoken about corruption. We've spoken about economy, how we can build and make things better, how you intend to even arrest people who would probably even be family members and embezzle, monies for the country and all of that. Let's look at the other side of the coin. I mean, after the Fourth Republic, we've not really had an independent candidate able to break through. There are some that have come, they've given up, others are still on the trail. You are beginning this journey. How confident are you that you probably in 2024 will be the very first person to do so?
Very confident. Very confident. You see, there's timing for everything. There's a time in our political history now that this change has to occur. Ghanaians over the years have seen clearly how the traditional system has not helped them, while the status quo has failed them on a party-by-party basis. They've identified that it's no more political color and symbols. It's to do with having people with pragmatic ideas, people with the know-how, the expertise skills to run this nation. So basically, is the timing. What could be done maybe 10 years later, which wasn't done, doesn't mean that it can be done now. The timing is now for us to be able to get this done. Macron did the same in France. Everybody was laughing at him. How can he go with a small party? The established institutions have been winning over the years, but it gets to the time in every country's political history that calls for such a change. And that is why I'm so confident, and this is what I'm bringing on the table for our fellow Ghanaians.
You've got only 1 year to make this difference that you want
11
to make.
months.
11 months, basically, to make this difference you want to make. Have you, in hindsight, formed your team? Or have you decided on who is going to play what, who is going to do what? Because at the end of the day, that's what matters if you win the power anyway.
Absolutely. The first skill of a good leader is the ability to choose the right people around you. So we have an excellent team.
That has been done already?
Absolutely. A team which we're going to outdoor very shortly. People who under normal circumstances wouldn't have gotten into politics. Because as you know, it's a very violent environment.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people that are doing well in life just think, I'm comfortable to stay in my little corner than to get myself dirtied in all this environment. So that is why skillful people have not been able to get into politics because of all these things. But my approach, which I have put myself on the altar of sacrifice to create something for this generation and the generation ahead, paves way for all these people who under normal circumstances, who would be in politics, join us and help us to run this country.
Over the period, we've seen certain presidents coming to office, especially the former president. There's so much that has been said about the last few years of his tenure in office, his pronouncements, his way of dealing with issues and all of that. How do you intend to stop that part of the presidency? That is, if it's part of it. So that in your last tenure in office, we won't have a president that, as aware, people will feel is not a listening president.
You see, the challenge, as I said earlier, is the systems we have. If any leader professes change and they are not willing to break down the systems that are corrupted and build new ones, don't take them serious.
You speak well. A lot of people believe that you're rich. You have a lot of money to spend, and so voting for you won't be a problem. Some also think voting for you will be a problem because a rich man would always want to be rich. And when you get into power, you want to be rich. Are you rich?
Well, it depends on how rich is defined. I am comfortable by the grace of God. I've been blessed. So I would say I'm very comfortable. And if that is your definition for being rich, then that's fine. But then again, it's motives here. People get into politics to make money.
Yeah.
And I am saying, and others too get into politics to change things. I'm a change agent. Throughout my career up to now, I get into messy environments and I turn them around to meaningful environment. And this is what I'm bringing on the table. Like I keep saying, sacrificing myself, making sure, and let me give you this. You are the first person I'm telling you an interview.
Okay.
I'm going to be the first president that will declare my assets on a yearly basis and also pay taxes on any money, income tax on any money I earn. So, as I was saying to you about honesty, integrity, and transparency in playing golf, when I hit the ball, if the ball had gone in here, it's a bunker.
Okay.
And I have to stand in there and hit the ball out.
Oh.
From here.
That could be a challenge.
That could be a challenge. But you have to stay honest and stay truthful to the game. So whatever it is, as difficult as it is, you have to try
to clear it out.
Exactly. Because there's a number of hits from that hole to that hole that determines whether you've won or you've lost. So if you play, say, 6 times between that hole to this hole, and I play 2, that means I'm ahead of you.
Oh, I see. That's how you get to win eventually.
Exactly.
Speaking about challenge, the bunker and everything, what is the most challenge or difficulty you have to go through as a leader throughout your career?
A few. I've gone through very, very difficult challenges. A few comes in mind. But the most difficult one is losing the right people as a leader. When you're a leader and the people that supports you to build anything start leaving you at some point, is a problem. Because it takes a lot to empower people.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to train and develop people. So if you spend so much effort, resources, and time in people around you to build something, and they leave you, those are very, very challenging times for any good leader.
There's been serious calls for constitutional reforms in terms of, in as much as possible, we ensuring that certain things in the constitutions are reviewed, just so we'll be able to have a nationalistic view of the constitution. I don't know if you have chanced on any of the conversations and some of the things that have actually come up. But what if you get into office, what will be one thing in the constitution that you think that as soon as you get into office, it needs a review?
The constitution, as you rightly said, I mean, even way before other people started talking about it, I have been making a lot of noise right from day one that the powers of the president is too much. And power corrupts. And if corruption is number one endemic sin into our society, then let's resolve it through the constitutional part. Let's lessen the powers of the president. If the president appoints everybody, including the Chief Justice, he compromises the legislature, the judiciary. Yeah. And then you are also employing parliamentarians.
The EC.
No, parliamentarians to become ministers. That's also another compromise to parliament. Then at the same time, you're employing the EC boards, the Ghana Plan Development Commission, you are IGP, basically all this. So there's so much power. But until we have separations of powers and checks and balances as a society, we will not be able to achieve anything. Because if you are not careful and if you're not lucky and you have a bad leader, everything else becomes just a banana republic. So I am saying that the appointment of these bodies has to be done by autonomous body. I am also saying that we should scrap the, those guys that take ex gratia.
The former president and ministers.
We call, what do you call it? What do we call them? The Council of States.
Yeah.
I don't know why I lost. The Council of, we should scrap the Council of States, deploy an upper chamber made up of all the paramount seats, because we have to include our traditional way of governing into our new style of politics.
That's something you want to do?
Absolutely. Bring the paramount chiefs, ex-central bank leaders, ex-IGPs, ex-military commanders, ex-presidents, put them at a second chamber for them to be advisors and to the president. Create autonomous bodies like the National Planning Commission. Pure technocrats, pure think tank. Let them think 10, 15 years for the country. Enshrine that into a constitution that binds any leader that takes over the country to go by exactly what the constitution says in terms of infrastructure development and development of the nation. Here we are, you go and borrow 200 million, Saglami, NDC, you live in the bush. MPP comes, similar amount of Yanko.
Start another
project because they are saying the meat on that one has been chopped. They are not the ones who are going to work on the bones. Is that how to build a country? There's no sustainability, there's no continuity. This has to stop. And how do we stop that? Have a constitutional amendment and enshrine a 15, 20-year plan in the constitution.
No, give me. Let me.
Now you try. Let me show you how it's done. Finish it.
Access, finish it. Let me show you how it's done.
Little, don't hit it so hard.
Oh!
Hold on. You got it.
I'm at it.
Excellent.
Man, dog, I've had a great time. Really enjoyed, the level of skills and knowledge you've espoused with regards to your decision to be the president of the country. I know it's going to be a long journey. We've got 11 months, like you said, and I'm also hoping that Ghanaians get to understand where you're coming from in terms of what you want to do for this nation. I'm not always the prophet of doom, but granted, you're given the office of the presidency. I know there's a lot you will do. On the other side, if Doug does not make it to the presidency after the elections, what's the next phase?
I'll go back.
Touch wood.
Touch wood. It's good to always, as a business person, always have to have contingency plans. We call it what-if scenarios.
Yeah.
So you have to have plan A, plan B, plan C. If the unexpected happens and I don't win, I'll go back to business, but that hasn't stopped me from continuing this. Because we will push until we either win or the right measures and systems are put in place for this nation. That I can assure my fellow Ghanaians.
All right. All right, Doc, we're wrapping up. Like I said, I've enjoyed this conversation, but I want to find out one last thing from you. Unfortunately for you, there's been some precedents that has been set in terms of electioneering in this country. You need to make sure you're giving people money to be able to vote for you. You need to spend a lot of money. Delegates are asking for it. The ordinary person in the street is also asking for it. In your case, how do you intend to go past this? Is that how you're going to go? If you're not going to go the same line, what's going to be the difference you'll be bringing?
If we're professing change in governance, it has to start from our campaign. We are saying we will not continue doing the same old thing over and over again. We believe that if Ghanaians accept our message and buy into the message, they will even contribute towards us to get this message propagated. The campaign that we are having now is a campaign for the hearts and minds of our people. To let people know the clear options on the table with regards to the challenges that we have as a nation. So our question to our people is, if you think the current system is good for you, if you think your living conditions now is perfect, then please stay with the status quo. But if you are looking for something different, if you are looking for politics to turn your life around, then vote for us.
All right, so that's Dr. Sam Ankrah. And I've been engaging with him here on the golf course. So we've had quite pretty, exciting conversation. I'm sure one way or the other, you've seen what he's bringing to the table, and you would want to make that decision eventually when we go to the polls on the 7th of December 2024. From now till then, what would you want to tell the people of Ghana? So we just say goodbye to you.
Well, fellow Ghanaians, first of all, thanks for having your humble servant back again to speak to you. But as I've been saying continuously, we've gotten to a time in our political history that this change is so necessary. Vote for a person or a candidate that will help change the life conditions of where you are living in. I thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Doc, thank you so much for the time and allowing me into your space to have a little chat with you. I really appreciate it. I wish you the very best, and I'll see you sometime again. But of course, I am joining the team here moving forward. I want to play golf.
Thanks.